Jeff Zients, says in order to keep schools open during the pandemic, schools will be getting more tests.
These 10 million additional tests available each month will allow schools to double the volume of testing they were performing in November.
The test supply push, though, will likely be too late for many people trying to safely navigate the Omicron-fueled case surge, which is already showing signs of cresting. A judge in New York has, for now, refused to dismiss a lawsuit against Britain's Prince Andrew by an American woman who says he sexually abused her when she was 17. On social media, tennis star Novak Djokovic acknowledged his Australian travel declaration form contained incorrect information, and he also confessed to an error in judgment and taking part in an interview and photo shoot in Serbia after testing positive for the coronavirus. The defending Australian Open champion blamed human error by his support team for failing to declare he traveled in a 2-week period before entering Australia. This is AP News.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
You know, if you feel like you're stuck with a health care plan that isn't affordable or you simply don't like it, right now is a great time to switch to MediShare. The typical family saves $500 or more per month with MediShare, and what's more, they like it. MediShare has double the customer satisfaction rate when compared to health insurance. You get access to a massive network of providers and 24/7 telehealth. And MediShare is the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. It's been around for more than 25 years, and it's more than just affordable healthcare, too. You get to be part of a community of Christians who pray for each other and support each other. But here's why now is the time to make the switch. Join before January 15th, and they'll waive your new member fee. You'll save another $170 right off the bat. Call now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is January 15th, so you can save even more. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Time now for the forecast from the Boston Independence Group Weather Center. Call Jerry Doherty today at 877-772-1776. Retirement is within reach.
I'm meteorologist Jason Brewer. Here's the latest Boston 25 weather on Radio 830 WCRN. Partly sunny, back to seasonable for the afternoon, highs in the mid to upper 30s, although the gusty breeze will make it feel about 10 degrees colder at times. Tonight, partly cloudy, dry, lows in the mid-20s. Then tomorrow, another partly sunny but milder day with light winds and highs in the lower 40s. I'm Jason Brewer. You can hear Boston 25 live for the morning drive, weekdays on AM 830 WCRN.
The WCRN News is brought to you by John the Roofer, a leader in the roofing and home improvements business for more than 70 years. Call 866-906-ROOF or go to the internet and see johntheroofer.com.
The following program is sponsored by Frankie Boyer, who is responsible for its content. Before beginning any health or fitness practice, consult your personal physician.
You're heading for a breakdown. Why don't you pull yourself to pieces?
Keeping you healthy from coast to coast, this is the Frankie Boyer Show.
Frankie Boyer Show. There's some very strange people practicing medicine these days.
This is the Frankie Boyer Show.
It's medically impossible.
Your voice for healthy living.
And welcome. Hi, everybody. It is Frankie Boyer, WCRN, WACE, and WADK, and we welcome you and another fabulous program today. We welcome back someone who understands that the little tweaks that we make in our diet are so effective. And I know it's overwhelming. I know that many of you have had all of the great intentions in the world to start healthy and fresh this new year. And it just didn't happen. It hasn't happened. You've already fallen off the wagon. It's this one's birthday. It was the football game we had to watch. All of those things. But there are things that we can do. And our next guest has been an inspiration for all those things. She is known as the Culinary Cure. Kristen Coffield is back, theculinarycure.com. Kristen, we just always so enjoy you. And you've been doing your Culinary Cure detox. Tell us how that's been going.
Well, I've got people excited to join me. The detox and reset actually starts on the 24th of this month. So I've been doing some educational webinars and programs to help people understand exactly what you just said. It's not those big sweeping things that we put out there. That's why New Year's resolutions don't work. That's why diets don't work. It's too big. It's too much. We can't change everything. But we do have the power to make these little micro changes. And I love to talk about how we can habit stack these tiny baby changes into every day, and they add up to wellness gold over time. So it's not the big stuff. It's that little everyday stuff that we have the power to change.
So, Kristen, I know that not everybody is going to be happy doing intermittent fasting. I just know that. I love it. I absolutely love it. I am telling you, it has been a model that for my body, for my mindset, that has been very effective. So I know between 7 and 7:30, I'm all done eating. That's it for me. And there are some days that it goes later. It goes till 8. But I know that that's my window. That is my window. And then the next day, and I only have liquid. I only have water when I begin the fast. That's it. I'm done eating. The food is put away. And by the way, I don't have to clean my plate. I don't. If I'm full, I'm full. And the next day, I begin anywhere from 15, 16, 17 hours later, depending on the day, depending on my schedule. And that's how long I go before I break my fast. Now, I don't get hungry, and I also don't eat junk in the time that I'm eating. In other words, I'm not putting crap in my body, and I know that you are really passionate about getting the crap out of our bodies as well. But I don't put junk into my body. I eat very clean, and I eat very mean, and I am a vegetarian that does do eggs, and I don't do a lot of cheeses, but I do like goat cheese, and I do use goat cheese. But I don't eat fish, and I don't eat chicken, and I don't eat meat. And this...
If it has a face, you don't eat it.
Exactly. If it has eyes, is what I say. If it has eyes, I don't eat it. And it's mainly humanitarian because I'm a true animal lover, and I just can't. I just can't go there. I just can't. So I don't. But I'm not judgmental. If you want to eat your protein, absolutely. Just make sure it's clean protein. But what I do want people to know is that I have a lot of fun with the foods that I do eat, and I make really lovely food. And tonight I'm having soup. I'm having a butternut squash soup, a ginger butternut squash soup that I'm making.
Well, that sounds delicious. What time should I show up?
Absolutely. We'd love to have you. I'd love to have you. And I am making rosemary crackers to go with it. Fresh homemade rosemary crackers. No gluten, no sugar. Yeah, no gluten, no sugar, no starch, nothing.
I love that. And I eat that way most nights. But my husband he just can't, he just isn't quite there yet with me. And I know for a lot of people, it's a big step. And so, where we started this conversation was really what I think people want to hear is that you don't have to go all or nothing. You can look at this new year as an opportunity to just do better. And before the show started, I know I mentioned to you, I'm actually doing a TV segment for Good Morning Washington next week, and the topic is reducitarianism, and that is the practice of eating less meat, and that's all meat, red meat, poultry, seafood, pork, as well as consuming less dairy and fewer eggs. And so the whole concept, and this is so doable for everybody, which is why I really love it. The whole concept is that, we assume that most people want to do better and they want to make choices that are better for themselves and better for the planet. But they're kind of unwilling to take that all or nothing approach. So reducitarianism is just saying, hey, I'm going to eat 10% less animal products every day. And I'm going to eat 10% more whole food, plant-based products, just like that gorgeous soup you're describing. And just that 10% has a huge impact if everybody decides to do it. So, I love that concept. I think it's easy to understand. So, how does that play out? What does your dinner plate look like? Well, your dinner plate looks like, instead of having a chicken breast, maybe you have a chicken thigh. And then you have a baked sweet potato and some oven roasted broccoli and some salad. And eating like that, maybe you throw some toasted almonds on your salad to give it a little more texture, or maybe some sautéed mushrooms. But just by adding more plants, I don't want people to think that means, oh, go ahead, have more carbohydrates. That's not what I'm saying. More plants, less animal products. It's better for us. It's better for the planet. And it actually reduces the risk of heart disease and even some cancers. So it's a great first step for people who are like, Frankie, I love what you're saying, but I just don't know where to start.
Yes. Okay. So one of the other things that we need to talk about, and I know it's a sore subject for many in this area because we miss Tom Brady terribly. We really do. We so miss him. We so miss the fact that there's just a minute left and we still are going to win the game because Tom Brady's on our team. We miss that terribly. I'm just saying. Okay. Got that out of my system. But the truth is that Tom Brady is so interesting the way that he eats, isn't he? And the way he practices his lifestyle. And you have written about him as well. So tell us a little bit about the commonalities that you and Tom Brady have.
Oh, this is so fun. So this was a newsletter and a blog post that I had this week from my website, The Culinary Cure. And I love Tom Brady. I think Tom and Giselle are fascinating. And as a couple, they both are on the same sheet of music. They are biohacking their wellness. They are taking their habits and they're making sure their habits support their big picture goals. So he's an incredible athlete and she is an incredibly gorgeous, healthy, beautiful model and spokesperson for all kinds of products. So their health and wellness is everything for them and their parents. So they want their kids to be healthy and avoid disease as well. So I wrote this article about what Tom Brady and I have in common. And it's kind of a funny story. And I just kind of wrote it quickly. And then afterwards I had a good laugh about it. I bought my husband Tom Brady's book last year, and that's the TB12 method. And I bought it for my husband because even though I am I am the eating expert, I am a well-known authority on wellness, a lot of my advice falls on deaf ears at home. So I bought my husband this book and I said, hey, honey, could you read this and tell me if there's anything, you find that, you think I should be incorporating into my programs to help people become their best version. And so he reads it and he says, oh my God, Kristen, the chapter on hydration, you could have written it. He said,
okay, so I'm going to let everybody hear about it when we come back. We have to take a quick break, but when we come back, Kristen Coffield is here, and she absolutely is going to talk about this hydration story. I love this. Go ahead and tell us when we come back and give us the website. And also, you're going to talk about some of the foods, is stop eating 7 things. We're going to get into that. We have a lot to talk about. And for people that want to do the 21-day How do they reach you and do all that good stuff? Give that out as
Yeah,
well as we go to
if they
break.
want to jump in, I'll be glad to share that after the commercial break.
Okay, wonderful. We'll be back in just a moment. This is Frankie Boyer, WCRN, WACE, WADK. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment with our guest, Kristen Coffield. Some of us are outwardly successful, but inwardly feel unhappy and living a life lacking in purpose and meaning. The Necktie and the Jaguar by Carl Greer can help you discover what's important to you and how to go for it. How to go for it. For more information or to purchase the book, go to carlgreer.com. That's CARLGREER.com.
Hi, this is Ellie Cullen, registered nurse, author of Normal Blood Test Scores Aren't Good Enough, and founder of Your Future Health. Recently, Fox and NBC News featured Marcia Yeager's testimonial. She broke 4 inline skating records, won many national titles, and was inducted into the Roller Skating Hall of Fame. Then suddenly, she became ill and her life changed.
I have trained and competed in 2 marathons, the X Games, and the World Games for inline speed skating. You can imagine my surprise when I found myself in the hospital 2 years ago with blood clots and ulcer-like lesions on my toes. I was sent home and told that my symptoms defied diagnosis. Desperate, I called Your Future Health. My health print showed me which foods and supplements I needed more and less of, and my omega-3 profile showed me that I had a severe deficiency in omega-3 fatty acids. And today, I'm feeling better than ever. Your Future Health literally saved my life.
Call Your Future Health at 877-468-6934 or visit yourfuturehealth.com.
Dance floor is open. Come on, everyone. Let's shake it.
You're young at heart. Let's keep it that way. Stay feeling young with Kyolic Aged Garlic Extract, designed specifically to help support and strengthen your cardiovascular system as you age. Kyolic Aged Garlic Extract was founded on scientific research and has been the subject of more than 800 research studies over the last 45 years, revealing its significant cardiovascular benefits. Kyolic Aged Garlic Extract cardiovascular, blood pressure health, cholesterol, and circulation formulas are just a handful of the many Kyolic supplements that can help reduce the major risk factors of heart disease and promote overall heart health. Organically grown, Kyolic garlic is aged up to 20 months, has no pungent odor, and is gentle on the stomach. Make a resolution today to stay young at heart and keep your cardiovascular system strong for years to come. Get Kyolic today. Available at fine natural health retailers nationwide.
You're listening to The Frankie Boyer Show. Once again, here's your host, Frankie Boyer.
And welcome back. It is Frankie Boyer, WCRN, WACE, and WADK. And joining us today is Kristen Coffield, and we're talking about her connection to Tom Brady and their philosophy. And so you guys have a very similar philosophy in general. Wouldn't you think, Kristen?
Absolutely.
Because
we definitely do. And I love his book, and I love his, he's very disciplined, but the hydration part, I think, is so interesting. And
okay, so tell us about it.
So after my husband read Tom Brady's book, and, I'm hoping my husband's going to get some good tips so he doesn't have another overuse injury at his CrossFit gym. He says, oh, my God, Tom Brady and you have the same philosophy. So I'm going to read you from Tom Brady's book. I'm going to read you a quote. And it says, as we get older, we all have to deal with some degree of slowdown. But by bringing together the right variety of tools in a holistic manner, we can decelerate that aging process, as most people experience that today. And then he goes on to say, of these tools, the first, proper hydration, is to me by far the most important. Well, I am known for my morning lemon water rant, all of my wellness programs begin with teaching people how to properly hydrate. And becoming properly hydrated is different than just drinking a lot of water. So it's really
So talk to us about this. Yes,
Yeah,
talk to us about this. Tell us what we need to do in the morning when we first get up.
So when we're sleeping, our body is fasting. All of our major organs go through a metabolic detox process, and all of that lymphatic waste ends up in our lymphatic system. And the lymphatic system is the trash can of the body, but it can't move itself. So it requires help from us, and that's things like moving around. We can do some little massage, but the most important is rehydrating after the fast that occurs during sleep. So when we get up in the morning, first thing we need to do, and I love to tell people how to habit stack this. Habit stacking is where you just tack a new habit onto an existing one, and it makes it easier for that habit to stick. So my hack for habit stacking is get your warm lemon water ready the night before. Have it ready to go in your kitchen, whether your teapot needs to be full or your mug is in the microwave. And then when you wake up, the first thing you want to do is go ahead and get your 8 to 10 ounces of warm or room temperature water. You're going to boost that with the juice of half a lemon or half a lime. You can also add electrolyte drops or some Himalayan pink sea salt. And those things actually help the water get into our cells and help us hydrate on an intercellular level. So our water's dead. It's been processed through the municipal processing plant. It's been treated with chemicals, and it doesn't have any of the live things or the nutrients or the minerals that we should be getting in our water. So we've got to do better. We've got to boost our water, and then we want to sip our water throughout the day, and we want to start with half our body weight in ounces of water.
Yes,
and I know you're an herbal
good.
tea drinker too. I'm a huge proponent.
I'm really not. I don't like tea, and I can't drink coffee, and I'm not a big. I force myself when I have to drink tea, but it just the flavors. My favorite flavors, and they don't make them anymore, and it just. I loved Good Earth. They made the original Good Earth, and they don't make it anymore. I can't find it anywhere. That was my favorite tea in the whole world.
Well, for people who have high blood pressure, here's a little hack. If you sip hibiscus tea, that can naturally help to lower high blood pressure. So that's a great tip. And these herbal teas, so many of them have other benefits. They make mushroom teas, and they make teas that have adaptogenic herbs that can help us balance our mood and calm a busy brain. I happen to love chamomile and lavender as a great combination. And right now I'm sipping a spearmint tea, and I've got a squirt of lemon in there. So it's just a great way to add more flavor and more benefits to the hydration process, because a lot of people, I know you're good about it, but a lot of people just struggle to drink enough water. And if they're sipping herbal tea, it seems a little easier.
I agree. Oh, I think so. I think it really makes sense. I do. I think it really makes sense. What are the 7 things? And so does Tom Brady drink the lemon water?
Tom Brady is Mr. Electrolyte. He buys electrolyte drops. He sells electrolyte drops, and he puts them in his water all the time. And we want to become hydrated on that intercellular level because it helps with muscle pliability. So for him as an athlete, he's thinking, he wants to avoid injury. So he wants to stay well hydrated, keep his muscles pliable. But think about this. For the average person, your heart is a muscle. Your lungs are muscles. Not only do we want to avoid injury, we want to keep our muscles functioning at their best level.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. That makes tremendous sense. And if you're not an athlete, do you need this so much electrolytes? I wouldn't think so, but I don't know.
So this is how I do it. I actually buy electrolyte drops. They're on my website at thecularycure.com, in my Amazon store. The company is called Trace Minerals. They are out of Utah.
Yes, they're wonderful. Yeah, they're wonderful. I love them.
Great company. I have met with their medical director, who's a really fascinating guy. They sell electrolyte drops and they sell liquid minerals, and they're very inexpensive. And I love the fact that I can just buy a bottle, and every time I have a cup of tea, I just kind of put a squirt in there. Every time I have a glass of water, I just put a squirt in there. And, people are always asking me, well, should I buy the electrolyte water or should I buy the alkaline water?
Oh, God, no, it's loaded with sugar.
Well, you should avoid all the flavored waters, hands down. If you're not putting your own your own lemon in it, don't buy it. And you should avoid buying plastic as much as possible. So I encourage people to get a great, water bottle that they can fill with their own filtered water. They can add their own electrolyte drops. It is less expensive, better for you, better for the planet, easy to do.
Absolutely. Okay, great. So give out your website, and if people are interested in this cleanse that you're doing, and then we'll talk about the 7 things right after another break. But tell us how they can reach you, please.
Please visit me at thecularycure.com. If you think you want to join my detox and reset, it starts on the 24th, but this Friday, the 10th, is the last day to sign up. The 14th is the last day to sign up because I need to order people their supplements for the program. So thecularycure.com, and there's a lot of free information on there and some great recipes, the blog post about Tom Brady, my book, lots of great free info for everybody to enjoy.
I think this is good stuff. And do you want to is there a number that people can call as well?
If somebody is really interested and they have some questions, they can call me at 703-608-5978.
Wonderful. And again, this is starting really soon, so you want to give that number again, Kristen.
They can text message or call me at 703-608-5978. They can join my 21-day detox and reset. It's not a diet. We put wellness first, but the benefit is everybody loses weight, feels great, looks better, and loves the program. And we eat real food, none of this weird food. It's all real food anybody can make.
Okay, we'll be back in just a quick moment. Stay tuned. Frankie Boyer, WCRN, WACE, and WADK. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
WACE Chicopee and WCRN Worcester.
I'm Ed Donahue with an AP News Minute. The late Senator Harry Reid is lying in state at the Capitol.
A U.S. Joint Forces bearer team carried the flag-draped casket of the former Senate Majority Leader into the rotunda of the U.S. Capitol, where colleagues remembered Harry Reid, the Democrat from Searchlight, Nevada. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
Indeed, to see him lead and legislate was to see a master at work.
Current Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Few have shaped the workings of this building like our dear friend from Nevada.
Reid represented his state in the Senate for 5 terms.
Harry was tough as nails, a fighter to his core, but one of the most compassionate individuals.
Reid had pancreatic cancer and died last month at the age of 82. Ben Thomas, Washington.
Former President Donald Trump is slamming politicians who refuse to say whether they've received a coronavirus booster shot, calling them gutless. He spoke to the conservative One America News Network. I'm Ed Donnie.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
You know, if you feel like you're stuck with a health care plan that isn't affordable or you simply don't like it, right now is a great time to switch to MediShare. The typical family saves $500 or more per month with MediShare, and what's more, they like it. MediShare has double the customer satisfaction rate when compared to health insurance. You get access to a massive network of providers and 24/7 telehealth. And MediShare is the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. It's been around for more than 25 years, and it's more than just affordable healthcare, too. You get to be part of a community of Christians who pray for each other and support each other. But here's why now is the time to make the switch. Join before January 15th, and they'll waive your new member fee. You'll save another $170 right off the bat. Call now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is January 15th, so you can save even more. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Time now for the forecast from the Boston Independence Group Weather Center. Call Jerry Doherty today at 877-772-1776. Retirement is within reach.
I'm meteorologist Jason Brewer. Here's the latest Boston 25 weather on Radio 830 WCRN. Partly sunny, back to seasonable for the afternoon, highs in the mid to upper 30s, although the gusty breeze will make it feel about 10 degrees colder at times. Tonight, partly cloudy, dry, lows in the mid 20s. Then tomorrow, another partly sunny but milder day with light winds and highs in the lower 40s. I'm Jason Brewer. You can hear Boston 25 live for the morning drive, weekdays on AM 830 WCRN.
Another wonderful Wednesday in New England. I'm Ted A. It is January 12th. In a survey that tests for antisocial behavior, the Bay State is number one by a wide margin. Massachusetts scored 11.75%. The average score across the country is only 3.22%. The survey defined the term antisocial in this way: unmotivated by the company of others, showing a disinclination for social activity, social settings, and avoids making plans with others. Now, some of this can be blamed on the conditions imposed by current events. However, the survey also includes evidence that technology, work burnout, and personal relationships that end badly may also have an impact. The WCRN News is brought to you by John the Roofer, a leader in the roofing and home improvements business for more than 70 years. Call 866-906-ROOF or go to the internet and see johntheroofer.com.
Now the Frankie Boyer Show continues. Once again, here's your host, Frankie Boyer.
And welcome back. It is Frankie Boyer and WCRN, WACE, and WADK, and Kristen Coffield is back with us. Okay, what are the seven things that we need to stop eating right now?
Those 7 inflammation-causing foods that are linked to that low-level IgG inflammation, and that's scary because we don't know we have it. We just got used to feeling kind of crappy, and we're walking around with inflammation because, and get ready, here they are, conventional dairy, including eggs, gluten, added sugar, artificial ingredients, peanuts, soy, and corn. So those are the ingredients we all should, and we're talking about conventional. So if you enjoy soy, because soy can have some good benefits, and certainly fermented soy is very good for us, but you want to make sure it's GMO free and organic. Peanuts are actually a legume, and they are linked to inflammation. That's why so many people have peanut allergies. Corn is one of the most pesticide-laden plants on the planet. Corn, commercially grown corn, is sprayed with more chemicals, herbicides, fungicides, and pesticides than any other plant on the planet, and they use petroleum-based fertilizers. Bad for us, bad for the planet. Conventional dairy, these animals are being raised in horrible, inhumane conditions. They are given hormones. They are creating stress hormones, and all of that ends up into the products that we eat. Artificial ingredients. Our body was never made to eat artificial ingredients. Artificial. These are chemicals. And just because they're in food does not mean they are food. So when we eat them, it creates inflammation in our body. Our body wasn't made to process them, so it doesn't know what to do with them, so it stores them mostly in our fat cells. And then sugar, we all know sugar, the most addictive substance on the planet. It is added into everything. This is why we always encourage people, please be a label reader. Make sure there isn't added sugar in the products you're buying and eating. Avoid adding sugar into your food when you're preparing it. I had somebody ask me about stevia today. I would prefer people don't use stevia. It is super sweet. It can disrupt the gut microbiome. If you've got to have a little sweetener, use a tad bit of maple syrup. But we want to avoid sugar. We want to avoid sugar alcohols and all those things that disrupt our gut microbiome.
We have a question from one of our listeners. What about organic popcorn?
Well, I happen to love popcorn. So I think organic popcorn, that you buy the corn itself and you pop it in your home, I think you're A-okay with that. And quite honestly, I love Kerrygold butter. So I'll have mine with some butter on it and some Himalayan sea salt.
You and me both. Thank you very much. And right now, olive oil is getting a lot of great buzz. It was just on the news that new studies are showing that olive oil is, after all, really good for the heart. We've been knowing about this for so many years. Isn't it interesting?
Well, because, all of these things, there's a lot of politics behind the information that gets shared with people. And, there's a lot of private interests that keep good information out of the public sector. But, Frankie, I know you and I both feel passionately about this. When you buy olive oil, it is very important that you spend a little more money. You buy organic, you buy extra virgin, first press, because that's where you're going to get the most benefit. And remember, what we're paying for when we buy food is nutrients. That's what we're actually buying. We're buying nutrients, so we want to make sure we're getting the best value for our money, because cheap food does not have a lot of nutrients in it. So it's just cheap food. It's not making us healthy, even if it's olive oil.
So
and there's a lot of bad olive oil.
I have to tell you, I agree with you. I want to go back to the sweeteners for just a moment. Then we have a listener question about the sweeteners as well. But I love monk fruit, and I think it's a fabulous product, and it comes in lots of different forms, and I really like it. And I like xylitol in small doses because my stomach can't handle lots of it, but I do like some of it because the molecules work for me. And I don't use honey, and I don't use maple syrup. Those are triggers for my body, and I just want to mention that because it's so individual. You know what I mean? It really is. But one of my listeners wants to know how you do feel about raw honey versus maple syrup.
Well, the reason I tend to lean towards maple syrup, and I really, what I really don't want people to do is trade one bad habit for another bad habit. If you really, want to do better, it's important to dial down the amount of sweetness that you're used to consuming. It doesn't matter what makes it sweet, artificial, natural. The more you eat and drink sweetness, the more you crave it. So, using a little bit of monk fruit is fine. The sugar alcohols are really just, they do disrupt our gut microbiome, so I kind of steer people from that. But I love to use a little bit of maple syrup because it's thinner than honey. So honey doesn't dissolve nicely in your iced tea or your coffee. And where I find most people are looking for a sweetener is in a beverage. So that's why I tend to lean towards maple syrup, and I really am talking micro amounts, just enough to kind of take the edge off and give you that tiny bit of sweetness. But the name of the game is dial down the amount of sweetness you're used to eating and drinking.
Yes.
Because then you will taste more of the natural flavors in fruits and vegetables, and you will crave less sweetness. I hope that answers the question.
Yes. I think that's great. But I just want people to be careful for sweeteners, because they do spike your blood. There's no doubt about it, Kristen.
And let's just put it out there, agave is a no-no.
Oh,
Agave,
absolutely.
Not a good one.
It used to be, I knew it was too good to be true years ago.
Yeah.
I said, we're going to find out after we were all using it, this is too good to be true. I knew it.
Right.
I just knew it. But
Just
I do like the low hunt fruit. Yes,
Yeah.
I do like the low hunt fruit. I love that Lakanto, that monk fruit. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I think a good quality monk fruit. What concerns me is also the processing in many of these sweeteners, and that is concerning, but it's a payoff, and it's, you have to, as you say, you have to look at it and weigh it. And I also love coconut sugar in small amounts.
Mm-hmm. And coconut sugar, and this is a good topic, because there are a lot of people listening who might like to bake, and that's where we can use coconut sugar. It works really well in recipes, and so that's a great thing. I'm glad you brought that up, and that's a great way, to be able to bake.
I use it in my recipes. Yeah, absolutely. So before what about just fruit? Talk to us about your feelings on fruit.
I love
and
fruit.
Does fruit spike? But does fruit spike our blood sugar, and should we eat it?
Right. Okay, so here I'm going to just be a buzzkill for everybody. Grapes, don't eat them. I know. I'm sorry, but grapes have been grown to be so super sweet. They jack up our blood sugar. If you're going to buy grapes and put them in something or use them or eat them, make sure they're organic. Grapes are some of the most chemically treated produce out there.
Dirty, yeah.
Yeah, and as far as produce, as far as eating fruit goes, my best hack is always eat local, eat seasonal, and eat your fruit in the first half of the day. So when we eat our fruit in the morning, our body can use that fruit sugar, that fructose, to fuel us. It can use it for energy. When we eat it in the afternoon, we probably don't need that much sugar. So think about maybe a snack of an apple with a little peanut butter. That's okay. But sitting down and eating,
Oh, that's so funny. I just had that today for my breakfast. I had a little apple. I had a little apple. I usually don't, but I had a little bit of an apple slice with just a little teaspoon. I didn't do a full tablespoon. Just a little teaspoon. That's all you need, because it's so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
The apple, is just so delicious and crunchy, and the peanut butter is so creamy and delicious that you don't need a whole lot. It just a little bit satisfies me. Little bit does satisfy me. But it's a good question about the fruit.
Apples are great, and and then the old adage, an apple a day. There's a lot of truth to that. If you're buying good quality organic apples and you're eating an apple a day, you're going to get prebiotic fiber. You're going to get all kinds of nutrients. You're going to get some good sugar to fuel up your morning. So apples are really, really great. Just make sure you buy organic, you buy local, and, you eat it in the morning.
Hey, Kristen, I'm sorry, Kristen, we need to take a quick break, so give us all your information.
Absolutely. I'm Kristen Coffield, the eating expert. You can find all things Culinary Cure at thecularycure.com.
And thank you so much, Kristen. We will be back in just a moment. I'm Frankie Boyer, WCRN, WACE, and WADK. Stay tuned.
Dance floor is open. Come on, everyone. Let's shake it.
You're young at heart. Let's keep it that way. Stay feeling young with Kyolic Aged Garlic Extract, designed specifically to help support and strengthen your cardiovascular system as you age. Kyolic Aged Garlic Extract was founded on scientific research and has been the subject of more than 800 research studies over the last 45 years, revealing its significant cardiovascular benefits. Kyolic Aged Garlic Extract cardiovascular, blood pressure health, cholesterol, and circulation formulas are just a handful of the many Kyolic supplements that can help reduce the major risk factors of heart disease and promote overall heart health. Organically grown, Kyolic garlic is aged up to 20 months, has no pungent odor, and is gentle on the stomach. Make a resolution today to stay young at heart and keep your cardiovascular system strong for years to come. Get Kyolic today. Available at fine natural health retailers nationwide.
Is your life stressful and unfulfilling? Would you like to make changes but don't know how? The Aware Show recommends The Necktie and the Jaguar by Carl Greer, a memoir with questions to help you change your story and live a life that's more pleasing to you. For more information or to purchase the book, go to carlgreer.com. That's CarlGreer.com. carlgreer.com.
Mom, can I have some spray?
Sure, honey.
Thanks, Mom.
You know what that is? That's the sound of my child thanking me for giving her something that's actually good for her teeth. Spry Gum is part of the Spry Dental Defense System, a complete line of oral care products made with 100% xylitol, the all-natural sweetener with proven dental benefits. So when we're at home, my whole family uses Spry toothpaste and mouthwash to help strengthen our teeth and reduce the risk of tooth decay. And when we're on the go, I just throw some Spry Gum and mints right into my bag. My kids love it, and I love that it's all natural. No sugar, no aspartame, or any other chemicals. Just think of that. I reward my kids for taking care of their teeth at home by giving them gum and mints on the go that are good for their teeth. Visit sprydental.com or ask for Spry by name at your local health food store. You can also ask your dentist about Spry and make sure your mouth is receiving all the benefits of 100% xylitol products.
At Vitamin Shoppe, Sprouts, Kroger, and most natural product retailers. Find a retailer near you at clear.com.
You're listening to The Frankie Boyer Show. Once again, here's your host, Frankie Boyer.
And welcome back. It is Frankie Boyer. Kristen Coffield, what a treat for the full... Kristen Coffield is with us for the full hour, and it's a real treat. And Ted, do we have Connie? Is that what you're trying to tell me? I just heard... Oh, I heard stop, so I don't know where that stop comes from. I hear it every once in a while. So anyway, it's so bizarre. I hear the word stop, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop. But Kristen Coffield is with us for the full hour, and we're so thrilled. She is the Culinary Cure. No, I'm not going to stop. And what about molasses? I think a little molasses, didn't it once have real health benefits and still does?
Yeah, a little blackstrap molasses. It's, not everybody likes that flavor, but it is good for baking. You can use it in beverages, and a little does go a long way. It's just a little thicker. It falls in that thickness like the honey. But yes, blackstrap molasses is okay, and it does even have a few little health benefits. So that's a good one.
Good. All right. We have to talk about grains. We have to talk about, is it the gluten it the grains? Is it the yeast? What are we concerned about when we talk about inflammation?
So when we talk about gluten, and this is something most people don't know. So we've been eating gluten since we started, farming, basically. Man's been growing grains and milling the grains and making bread. And so what's happened is we've changed the way we farm our wheat and a lot of our grains. So wheat is now planted twice a year. So we're doing 2 harvests. It actually has a higher gluten level through genetic modification because the texture in this more heavy gluten wheat is very pleasing to the American palate. So we actually have more gluten than we did 100 years ago in our grains, in our conventionally grown grains. So that's where we're starting to get into trouble. And then gluten has been used as a stabilizer in everything from shelf-stable foods to cosmetics. So there's just more gluten in our environment, and gluten is a indigestible plant protein. So are lectins. There are many indigestible plant proteins. And so eating a little isn't a problem. It's the fact that we are being inundated with gluten and processed food products, and that's where we're getting into trouble. And that's where we're getting obese. That's where we're becoming pre-diabetic. When we go back and eat whole grains, it's a whole different thing. And when we buy organic grains, it's a whole different thing.
Yes. Go back to when was the time when we really started to, because right now it's so interesting. Flour was sold out during the early days of the pandemic. Everybody was baking, Kristen.
Yeah,
And now I'm hearing that bread is back in again, and there's the only bread that I really loved, and it was years ago, and my dear friend Lynn Gordon from French Meadow Organic Bakeries used to do functional breads. She did breads that were nutrient dense and actually had great ingredients in them. But that was 20
a lot of that's
years ago.
coming back, Frankie. A lot of that's coming back.
She's actually bringing the label back. She's doing it. She's starting the baking again because she's gotten so many requests. She was the first one in the country 20 years ago to do something called hemp seed bread, good for the heart. And she started putting hemp seeds, and all of the seeds were in her bread. They were just seeds.
That's so great.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was a wonderful, wonderful product.
I know Ezekiel Bread makes a sprouted bread that you can get at like Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, and I think that one's not too bad. But, it's funny. What we do is I'll just take a sweet potato, I'll wash it, I'll slice it lengthwise into slices that are about as thick as a piece of bread, rub a little oil on them, and I pop them in my toaster for a couple of minutes, and I use that as sweet potato toast. And I'll put avocado on it or an egg on it. And then for sandwiches, I might use, a leaf of kale or a leaf of lettuce. So once you kind of like step into this space and you step away from some of these grain products, you can get pretty creative. You can have a lot of fun. And it wouldn't be fair for me to not tell people about the banana mug muffin. I think I have to.
Oh, yeah, tell
that.
us. Please. Everybody get paper and pencil ready.
It's
Go ahead.
super easy. Anybody can do this. And when we do my 21-day detox and reset, people they go crazy when they can't eat the bread. So we do the banana mug muffin. You take a banana, you mush it up in its skin, you squeeze it into a bowl, you add an egg, and you whisk your banana and egg together. You add some cinnamon, you put it in a coffee mug, and you pop it in your microwave for 2 minutes on high. You should be done by then.
What if you don't have a microwave?
If you don't have a microwave,
what if you don't
You're probably not going to make a banana mug muffin. And I
Okay.
only happen to have a microwave because there was one in the condo we bought. I'd never had one before, and I was looking for ways to get people. I suppose you
Yeah,
could try
I
baking
gave-
it.
I gave mine away, so I don't have one. But I used to do something similar when I did the HCG protocol with everybody. When I took them through as a group, I would take an egg, and I would take one egg, and I would take some lemon, and I would take a little coconut sugar or monk fruit or a combination of them, and put a little in and whip it on the stove, and it would make a lemon curd, like a lemon pudding. Not as fun as
lovely.
your banana, but still quite delicious. Quite delicious,
Well,
and
what
protein
you
as
can
well.
do, you can take the recipe that I just gave, and you can take a saute pan, put a little butter in there, and you can make banana pancakes.
Yes, you could do that as well. But
Yeah.
the point, though, is that you're being creative without causing inflammation. Now, let's go back to Tom Brady for just a moment. He is 44 years old. He is having the most amazing. I just heard a couple of the sports analysis people talking, and they were saying he should be getting MVP, not Aaron Rodgers and not any of the others that are in the conversation. It should be Tom Brady because he's having the most amazing career of his in years. His career is unbelievable.
Yeah.
44 years
Yeah.
of age. He doesn't do bread. Everybody knows that. He did the Subway commercial and they whispered to him, "But you don't even eat bread." It was so funny, that Subway commercial. It's true, he doesn't eat bread. He doesn't eat nightshades. He doesn't eat potatoes, tomatoes, eggplant, peppers. Doesn't eat them.
Right.
Causes inflammation in his body. And he does eat avocados. And is he a pescatarian, or does he eat meat and chicken as well?
Well, I
don't
can't-
know.
I can't actually answer that, but the interesting thing about the nightshades is because the tomatoes are part of the Mediterranean diet. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
takes
crazy.
the seeds
Next
out
time
and
you're on, if you take the seeds and the skin, you can have them. Yes.
Exactly.
We got to run. Kristen, thank you so much. Give us the website real quick.
I look forward to hearing from everybody. I am at theculinarycure.com. You can sign up for a free 15-minute consult with me. You can find out about my 21-day detox and reset. And you can follow me on Instagram at Kristen Coffield, where I give daily wellness tips. Thank you for having
Wonderful.
me on,
Thank
Frankie.
you. Oh, thank you. It's always so wonderful. And thank all of you. This has been another edition of the Frankie Boyer Show for WCRN, WACE, and WADK. Thanks for listening. Make it a great day, everybody. And as always, smile.
Ever so near, and if you smile through your fears and sorrow, smile, and maybe tomorrow you'll see that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Smile.
You've been listening to The Frankie Boyer Show and your host, Frankie Boyer.
WACE Chicopee and WCRN Worcester.
3 o'clock. Time now for the forecast from the Boston Independent.
AP News. I'm Ed Donahue. The Biden administration is redoubling efforts to boost coronavirus testing over complaints of shortages and long lines. The AP's Sagar Magani has the story.
The criticisms come from all quarters, including Democratic Senator Patty Murray, who says constituents are frustrated and confused over testing. How, when, where?